Morning. Listen to the folks who have been nominated as well as the folks who are making presentations this morning, and I'm truly humbled, but I'm also truly privileged this morning to speak on behalf of Brian Virag. So, a bed bug, really? Street fighter, it's the small trial lawyer of the year. A bed bug. Well, what is a bed bug? A bed bug is a blood-sucking vampire that comes out at night. It has been around for decades, and multi-million-dollar companies have ignored the issue until one lawyer decided to take his practice, put everything at risk, and create a bed bug practice to go after the defendants and hold them accountable. Before Brian Virag started his firm or based his firm on bed bugs, no cases in California on bed bugs, no jury trials. Nobody was doing it. So, what happened when Brian started his practice dealing with bed bugs? Insurance companies wouldn't take him seriously. Plaintiffs' lawyers wouldn't take him seriously. Hell, judges weren't taking him seriously when he walked into the courtroom. He literally faced judges saying, "Are you kidding me? A bed bug case? Are you kidding me? Your law firm is called My Bed Bug Lawyer? Seriously? I'm not going to take you seriously." You know, one of the criteria is what you put at risk. Brian put everything on the line. He didn't know what bed bugs were. How many of you know anything about bed bugs? I sure as heck don't. But what he did is he took his resources and he traveled around the country and attended seminars and met with entomologists, I think that's what they're called, people who study bugs. He learned about these blood-sucking vampires. He learned that this has been a pandemic around the world for decades, and the only reason the pandemic has been allowed to go on is because people haven't been held accountable. Companies haven't been held accountable. Hotels haven't been held accountable for their actions. And it's easy to resolve, really. Canine detection, 90% effective. There are two methods, really, primary methods of treatment, both which are pretty effective: heat and poison. The heat is more expensive. They don't want to spend the money. So let's talk about the journey that Brian took. As I told you, when he started, no cases, no reported decisions, no trials, no experts, nothing to go on. He didn't know much about bed bugs, but he knew what they caused. First, let's talk about the victims a little bit. So, let's talk about children. Children who get bit by bed bugs and then go to school, and then the teachers send them to the school nurse, and then there's mandatory reporting by the school nurse to the Department of Children and Family Services, and the parents now run the risk of losing their children, having their children taken away from them because of some hotel or motel or landlord that refused to deal with bed bug issues. It goes on. You know, Brian's now had some success in these cases. In fact, many of you probably know he's been on CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, everything. One of the most celebrated cases he handled involved a Brazilian model, someone who makes her living by her appearance, and her appearance has to be flawless. She goes to a hotel in Palm Springs, suffers not a bite or two. She's ravaged by these blood-sucking vampires. That case received quite a bit of celebrity and notoriety. Let's talk about the road again. The road is that Brian starts off, goes to his first trial, and basically has his ass handed to him. He is nearly broke. He's got a dedicated staff, and what do? For 2 years, they're struggling. Insurance companies don't even want to pay for the property damage because what are the people going to do with their mattress, with their clothes? They have to throw everything out. Brian keeps going. 2 years later, he tries a case in Oakland. Tough trial, but he's getting there. It seems like he's going to get victory. The clients lose heart. And they basically, his own clients, walk out of the courtroom and don't come back. That didn't sit well with the jury. But Brian knew he was close, and he continued to go forward. And what did he do? He tried the Fuentes case, which he's nominated for here. Great venue, Bakersfield. $104,000 verdict. First verdict in Bakersfield on bed bugs. And he's got a plaintiff's verdict now, the first plaintiff's verdict in California on bed bugs. Since then, things have moved on. Brian's had verdicts. Well, let's talk about some of the, oh, by the way, I should mention, you talk about risk everything. How about payroll day comes and he's got $500 in the bank? So he's had a $3.5 million result against La Brea Complex, a $1.6 million verdict against a single-family home, a $646,000 verdict against the Hilton, and other verdicts and settlements. I start going through the settlements that he's had. He's had $1 million, $900,000 settlements in this area where nobody did this before he did. He created a new body of law in California, and he risked everything to do it. I think he is worthy of your vote. Solo practitioner, no second chair. This is the guy, do you guys remember like Mary Poppins, where Dick Van Dyke had the drum and the hat, and he was banging the cymbals and everything? That's the guy right there. He's got the drum, the hat, he's blowing on the harmonica, doing it all himself, and he risked everything to do it and created a new body of law. Thank you.
Thank you.